Good morning and welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth. Thank you so much for joining me. Well, today we're continuing on in Matthew chapter 4. We're about 3/4 of the way through the chapter. And we're in that stage of Jesus' ministry where he's calling disciples. So we saw yesterday that he called Andrew and Peter. And as we discussed yesterday, Andrew would go on to be martyred in AD 60 in Greece on an X-shaped cross. Peter would go on to play a very important role in church history. He would be, of course, he would deny Jesus 3 times during his passion, but later on he would kind of redeem himself, so to speak, when Jesus asks him 3 times, "If you love me," and then go serve my, feed my lambs, etc. He plays a pivotal role at the Council of Jerusalem in Acts chapter 15 and through the first 15 chapters of Acts as well. Today we're going to continue on with that calling of the disciples, and we're going to read from Matthew chapter 4 verses 21 and 22, which say, As he went from there, he saw two other brothers, James, son of Zebedee, and his brother John, in the boat with their father Zebedee, mending their nets, and he called them. Immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him. So James and John, elsewhere in Scripture, we see them known as the sons of thunder. Now, John, in this case, would go on to be, obviously, the disciple John or the apostle John. He would go on to write the Gospel of John and the letters of John. So 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, and also the book of Revelation. So he plays a huge role in the foundations of Christianity as well. And when he became a disciple, he wasn't an older man. He was a younger man. He was probably in his late teens. That's why he was able to write all these letters later on. The Gospel of John, as an example, was written right around the late 80s, early 90s AD. So he was fairly old at that time, which means he's going to be fairly young here. And three of these first 4 disciples would go on to be in Jesus' inner circle. So Peter, James, and John would be in that inner circle, and he'd be present with them at events such as the Transfiguration, when Jesus was present with, Moses and Elijah. So that's a pretty important thing as well. They also immediately left when Jesus told them to follow. But here we see something different. James and Andrew were on their own boat, mending their own nets for their own business when Jesus called them and they left. Here, James and John are with their father Zebedee. So they're on their father's boat, helping provide for their family. Jesus comes over and says, "Come, follow me." And they leave. Now we don't read about what their father's response was or anything else like that. We just see that they left. But I think something pivotal here, and what Matthew may be trying to get across very subtly, is that sometimes following Jesus will mean that there's going to be family. It may mean leaving some kind of a family cause. So whether it's you're supposed to inherit the family business, you may have to leave your home to go somewhere else that God is calling you to serve. So in a way, Matthew's saying that these types of things were present from the very beginnings of Christianity. That we're to go and do what Jesus is telling us to do, no matter the cost, and it may mean leaving our family, our parents, our brothers and sisters behind. So I think that's a subtle fact that Matthew's trying to get across there. So those are my insights into these 2 verses today. I hope they were helpful. And as far as an application for ourselves, like I said, we just, when Jesus calls us, there may be a time when we're asked to leave our comforts behind, our families behind, for the greater cause of the gospel. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the Daily Bible Podcast. As always, I ask that you share it, review it, and thank you so much for your support. God bless you. Have a great day.